Imagine waking up tomorrow and the world has changed. Your morning coffee doesn't cost $3 anymore. Instead, the barista shows you a QR code, and the price is 0.0003 Bitcoin. Sounds futuristic, right? But what if this wasn't science fiction? What if overnight, Bitcoin became the world's default currency? Let us rewind the clock on our payment systems and see what happens when the digital gold rush goes mainstream. This isn't just about tapping your phone instead of your card. This is a total rewrite of our financial DNA. We're talking about salaries paid in sats, mortgages denominated in BTC, and gas stations accepting crypto as casually as they accept cash today. We'll use the magic of Claymation to bring this wild new world to life, exploring both the chaotic upheaval and the quiet, life-changing revolutions. So grab your digital wallet, because we're about to dive deep into a world where every transaction is on the blockchain. First stop, Main Street. Meet Grandma Elsie, who's been running her beloved bakery for 50 years. Her secret cinnamon roll recipe is legendary. But today, her biggest challenge isn't the rising cost of flour. It's the QR code scanner. Longtime customers, used to paying with wrinkled dollar bills, are now fumbling with their phones, trying to figure out wallet addresses and transaction fees. Some younger folks breeze through it, but for many, it's a frustrating hurdle. The simple act of buying a loaf of bread has become a tech support session. This is the first ripple effect, a digital divide that's suddenly a chasm. Financial inclusion is a noble goal of crypto, but the transition period could unintentionally leave the most vulnerable behind. How do we ensure technology empowers everyone, instead of alienating those who aren't digital natives? Now, let's zoom out from the local bakery to the global stage. Picture this, a massive oil tanker, the size of 3 football fields, gliding across the ocean. Its cargo, millions of barrels of crude oil. But the payment for this black gold isn't happening through a swift transfer between international banks. Instead, it's a direct wallet-to-wallet transaction. A nation's oil reserves are sold for a string of cryptographic code. On one hand, this is incredibly efficient. No middlemen, no currency conversion fees, no multi-day settlement periods. The transaction is settled in minutes. But on the other hand, it's a geopolitical earthquake. The power of traditional financial centers like New York and London evaporates. Nations that control the most Bitcoin now hold immense leverage, regardless of their military might or GDP. This new world order isn't drawn along old alliances, but along the new lines of the blockchain. With this shift, something strange starts happening in sleepy suburban neighborhoods. Basements, garages, even spare bedrooms are humming with a new kind of energy. They're filled with computers, not for gaming or work, but for mining Bitcoin. As the value and necessity of Bitcoin skyrocket, so does the incentive to mine it. Suddenly, your next-door neighbor could be a key player in securing the global financial network. But this decentralization comes at a cost. The combined electricity consumption of these backyard mining rigs puts an immense strain on local power grids. Rolling blackouts become a common occurrence on hot summer afternoons. It sparks a new kind of energy race, not for oil, but for cheap, sustainable power. Countries with abundant geothermal, hydro, or solar power become the new economic superpowers. Quiet, remote places like the fjords of Norway, with their cold climates and massive hydroelectric dams, transform into the new Fort Knox, heavily guarded fortresses of data centers, securing the world's wealth. But this new system has vulnerabilities we've never had to consider before. Imagine it's the end of the month. Your rent is due. You scan your landlord's QR code, enter the amount, and hit send. But the transaction fails. You try again, fails again. You check the network status and discover the problem isn't your internet connection. It's a solar flare, a massive burst of energy from the sun that has temporarily disrupted the satellite relays that parts of the Bitcoin network rely on. Your rent payment and millions of others are stuck in digital limbo. In our old system, a bank might have an outage, but it's usually localized. In a globally interconnected Bitcoin world, a cosmic event can literally freeze the economy. It forces us to build new layers of resilience, more robust, ground-based networks, and maybe even a return to hyperlocal, offline payment solutions for emergencies. Now, let's talk about your job. You just got your monthly paycheck. Instead of a dollar amount hitting your bank account, you receive a fraction of a Bitcoin in your digital wallet. The first month, you're ecstatic. Bitcoin's price is soaring, and you feel like you got a huge raise. You can afford that vacation you've been dreaming of. But the next month, the price dips. Suddenly, that same Bitcoin salary can barely cover your groceries. This is the reality of living on a Bitcoin standard. Extreme volatility. Your purchasing power could swing wildly from day to day. Companies would have to become expert currency traders just to manage payroll. And for employees, budgeting becomes a nightmare. Would we see the rise of new financial products designed to hedge against this volatility? Or would we all become day traders, constantly watching the charts just to manage our daily lives? Let's think about one of the most powerful promises of Bitcoin, banking the unbanked. For millions of people around the world, opening a bank account is impossible. They lack the right documentation, live too far from a branch, or don't have enough money to meet minimum balance requirements. Bitcoin changes that. All you need is a basic smartphone and an internet connection to have your own wallet, to be your own bank. A worker in Dubai can send money home to his family in the Philippines instantly, with a fraction of the fees charged by traditional remittance services. This is a revolution in remittances, putting billions of dollars back into the pockets of the people who need it most. It empowers individuals on a scale we've never seen before, fostering a new wave of grassroots entrepreneurship and economic freedom. Small businesses in developing nations can now access a global market without a bank. That's a powerful, life-altering change. However, this great payment rewind also dismantles something we've relied on for centuries: the role of central banks. Without the ability to print money or set interest rates, how does a government respond to a recession? How do they stimulate the economy or control inflation? With a fixed supply of 21 million Bitcoin, the tools of monetary policy are gone. Governments would have to rely purely on fiscal policy, taxation, and spending to manage their economies. This could lead to a more disciplined and responsible government, or it could lead to paralysis in the face of an economic crisis. It's a grand experiment in monetary theory, played out on a global scale, with the livelihoods of billions of people on the line. And what about the nature of money itself? When your currency is purely digital, cash disappears. No more coins jingling in your pocket. No more bills in your wallet. This is a cashless society. For real. On the plus side, it makes illicit transactions harder to hide. Every payment is on a public ledger, but it also means every transaction is traceable. Privacy becomes a luxury. While your name isn't directly attached to your wallet address, sophisticated analysis can often link transactions back to individuals. This raises huge questions about financial surveillance and personal freedom. Who gets to see this data? Governments, corporations. It forces a global conversation about the fundamental right to privacy in a digital age. So, what happens when your morning coffee costs 0.0003 Bitcoin? It's not just a change in price. It's a change in everything. It's a world of incredible efficiency and empowerment, but also one of new risks and challenges. It's Grandma Elsie struggling with a QR code, but it's also a family receiving life-changing funds from across the globe in an instant. It's power grids straining under the load, but it's also a global rush towards clean, renewable energy. This isn't a simple upgrade. It's a fundamental rewiring of our civilization's operating system. The Great Payment Rewind would be messy, chaotic, and unequal at first. But it could also pave the way for a more decentralized, transparent, and ultimately a more equitable financial world for everyone. The question is, are we ready for it? What do you think? Could you live in a world priced in sats? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into a possible future, do you and forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how technology is changing our world. Thanks for watching.